early game pressure, the ability to disrupt not only aggression, but to make aggression on his own. I don't know, between these two drafts, I might just favor Sanguine.
Think you're right to do so. Spin in the ADC position, adapting, playing the Tsukiyomi over in the jungle. And Guan Yu support coming out here from Aurora. I mean, Gore, on the dash, they were talking about how Radiance are clearly looking to try and establish some pressure to perhaps run it down, but running it down into Cthulhu, into Habwa, into Serket, not the easiest though. Wrong Yu taking some early damage, Kusari Gama not gonna land. They do not get
so I think there is this position where, yeah, be willing to throw it out there and be willing to just keep yourself alive as much as possible, something the dual lane's gonna struggle with.
Whoa! Yeah, and that trio, it ends up falling. Cyclone Spin, able to put that aggression to good use over there in the long lane, and we were wondering, will this set be able to bully?
It's the fight over here in the dual lane that's kind of surprising to me. I mean, everything that the desk said about that Heimdall coming to fruition.
Hey, there's exactly the dive you wanted, but Tings is able to live through it. Shinto, though, follows up. Ambush allows Panatom to leave, but he's been hit by the ultimate, and adapting makes it 1-for-1. Crushing Wave brings adapting low. He must go down the low side, narrowly avoids getting pulled in, but now they're going to collapse back onto Aurora. In response, the Arcor heavily out-rotates Benji, gets here, and Shinto gets his second kill of this engagement. Now Benji is stuck in between three different members, does go up into the Somersault Cloud, looking to find some extra damage onto Shinto if he can find it, does get the initial landing. The knockup is there though, driving strike for the control, and that's a 3-for-1 in mid for Sanguine.
That's just well played by Sanguine. Every single step they had. I was even ready to latch on.
Sledge even being picked up, and the Sovereignty. They've got some items now to give them a little bit of anti-dive, so to speak. The two shells that are fully upgraded as well to block 4 autos working together. I mean, they've got some potential. Now adapting, being dove. Yarkor is inside the ultimate, now being followed up by Panatom, who's made his way in, but adapting still able to move away relatively safely. Yarkor looking for the knockup, and adapting cannot make it out of there. Both relics fail him, and that means Sanguine find their 4th kill of the game. But how do they disengage? Can they cleanly escape? Yes, Radiance are not even chasing.
And I think you get to see out of Yarkor, I mean, he's got 1, now 2 physical protection items, and both of them come into play there. I mean, he walks away still over half health after diving deep for adapting and looking at everyone on Radiance. I think that's just a good call from them, and because of all that protection, they can even afford to risk this Gold Fury.
They sure can. Yarkor still locked in a battle towards the back of the fight. That's him and Benji. Gold Fury low, down below a quarter, but it's been reset. Netrain ends up dropping, and they want the collapse on the Benji, who still has the Somersault Cloud and is able to get up top and escape, but he's considering where to land. Looks like he's heading back towards the team, blinking right afterwards and getting towards safety. And that means the Gold Fury started up again by Sanguine, confirmed by Sanguine right in the face of Radiance.
For how they want their fights to go. I think it's also unfortunate Aurora didn't have his ult for that last engage. It's giving a lot of control to Panatom and Shinto.
Well, there's the transformation. It's into the Tsukiyomi, and Tings is able to find a home. It's Shinto sent all the way back to the grave, and now Panatom getting locked down. Ambush allows him to escape. And Radiance have the big grouping here in mid, but where can they go? Pyro is down.
At least able to clear one big objective on the board if they win the next fight, but more or less able to take the biggest one away from the Fire Giant before some fights.
It's a big fight right on top of where the Pyromancer normally is. Yarkor transforms as the Cthulhu right away, looking for the knockups. But Radiance have largely disengaged from this battle. Tings transformed as well into the Cthulhu himself, and that is the biggest ultimate on the map on cooldown. So Panatom goes in. They look for Benji at the start. He makes it up with his own ultimate into safety, but Aurora has been pulled in by Wrong Yu, and Yarkor will claim the scalp. That's one more for Sanguine. And now they start up the Fire Giant, and Radiance have lost a lot of their best ultimates to contest this one, Gore. So a tough battle for them to make their way in. Fire now down to half HP, but Sanguine, it's all a bait. They go right for Cyclone Spin, and the set is forced to disengage, forced to use the beads and fall back. And now they can collapse onto Adapting, who's putting damage on the Netrioid, but cannot complete the chase. Now Panatom closes the gap, waits out this Aegis patiently, and Shinto gets the second kill.
Well, good news is that Adapting bought a lot of time. That Fire Giant is still standing, and honestly, feels a little risky to take. You're going to have a roar back in about 7 seconds. They could probably burst it down in time, but that does leave Benji and Big Man still in the neighborhood to try and contest it.
They're nearby, and the Fire Giant's been pulled yet again. It's down to half already, but no ultimate for Tings makes this hard. But Aurora has his, but he's so far away. The Fire Giant lower, and lower, but Sanguine confirmed it. The crushing wave a bit early, but it all works out as Yarkor gets rid of Ting. Shinto is low, and no ultimate means he falls, but this fight handily going the way of Sanguine. They've already gotten 2, and now the only one to worry about is Cyclone Spin. He falls. Aurora too late with the cavalry charge, and now his life might well be forfeit. This is Sanguine showing us the patience, the late game team fighting prowess, and it's gotten the better of Radiance for a deicide.
I mean, that all comes down to, you had highlighted at the very beginning, Big Man Tings goes into the Ultis Cthulhu, and that's it. Nothing else really happens there for Radiance. He ends up canceling out of it, and then once that is gone, that was the go button, and now it's enabled a lot of Sanguine's aggression. I mean, 2 tier 2 towers now looks like a Phoenix. They might even be able to end it, although it's a little risky. 20 seconds out, they might just go for Phoenixes here, which is the safe call, and they tend to lean towards that safe call. But I mean, look at it. You're going to lose 2 on the side of Radiance. You've only been able to pick 2 kills up in the last few minutes. It's not been the cleanest game for you, and honestly, they've showcased that Sanguine has a good win condition.
And Rogyu catching up to adapting, getting a little bit of help on that one, and one more kill.
And that's where things can change, specifically for Big Man Tings. If he has a more impactful ult this fight, it could strip away not only the Fire Giant from Sanguine, but control the game.
Adapting's in the back of the fight waiting. Shinto was the target early on, and he's already low. Crushing Wave allows him to reposition, but the dive is too strong. Cyclone Spin gets rid of Shinto early on in this engagement, but there's too much disruption coming from Yarkor. He gets the kill onto Big Man Tings, but now he's low as well. And Panatom over to the left of the fight ends up in trouble. Gets some help, though, coming through from a shell. He makes it out, and now Cyclone Spin is the target. A dash in from Yarkor, who's gotten both of the kills in this engagement. A 2-for-1 in favor of Sanguine, and Netroid still standing, so they've got plenty of pressure on this structure.
You're going to be able to get the Phoenix, no problem. It's what you can get afterward that really opens it up. You've got a lot of minion waves with you. Sanguine are going to get aggressive.
They are. They've got Adapting controlled, and Yarkor gets the 3rd kill of this fight. This Cthulhu has done everything for Sanguine here so far. 7-0-4 for the Yarkor pilot, and now the roar will fall as well. Netroid wants to get involved, wants to get a kill of his own, and that should do it. Benji, we had to pull off something miraculous to stop them here. Sanguine in game number 1, able to find the win over Radiance with their patented patient playstyle.
And, man, I was really excited coming into that one.
Won't catch me doubting Sanguine, especially considering they're going to their comfort picks now. Jingwei, Netroid, Rongyu, Horus, Panatom on the Thor, King Arthur. If they could blind pick in a casual, and I know it for a fact because they've done it against me, this is what they run. I think Sanguine got exactly what they want.
This is going to be a scary draft for Radiance to try and take down.
Thank you, Aggro and Myth, on the desk. Radiance going to look to make a largely dive composition work for them here again in game number 2 after Sanguine dealt with it pretty handily in game 1. And I don't know, I find myself of a different mind. I mean, I think if you can make it to 27 minutes against that dive comp, you've done your job, right? And the game is even, and now Sanguine trying to do it again, but Netroid on this Jingwei to deal with the Hercules knockup is a comfort pick for him. Panatom crashed into the scene with this Thor pick. Shinto's look nuts on the Habois. Radiance are going to have to absolutely get more out of Tings and Cyclone Spin if they're going to be able to deal with it this time, Gore.
Yeah, you replace maybe meta picks with pure comfort on the side of Sanguine, as you had kind of highlighted. Honestly, you look at that, save for maybe the King Arthur, 4/5 of that is what Sanguine dominated Phase 1 with, right? So, like, it's not even that far.
Yeah,
and potentially find that kill. Horus, just as a god in general, I love.
Roar blinking in and interrupting the backs there from Rongyu and Netroid with that 2-man pull. Not particularly exciting without anyone there to help follow up on it, but nice nonetheless there from Aurora that he was able to find it. Now Yarkor looking for the dive here up against Benji. Panatom is the backup with the dunk. Wow. First blood going over to Sanguine, and Benji has been the focal point. He picked up Blink as his first relic. No teleport, no beads, nothing like that. And he is all the more vulnerable to Sanguine's aggression.
On the Cthulhu. I think this King Arthur can be just as much of a menace, and you have to be just as scared.
Not quite there with the execution from Rongyu, but doesn't matter when you've got a Hebo to cover up the gaps. And Rongyu gets him out of there, but Adapting able to chase, but I don't think he wanted to chase this time. He's all alone here in the back, and Shinto lives. Aurora has to chase to clean up the kill and eventually gets it, but now he's out of position as well. So let's see if they've got enough damage to clean him up. Good 2-man driving strike, and he runs towards Cyclone Spin for a little bit of backup. Cyclone Spin comes in, and that is enough to save him. Panatom hammers over to try and clean up that kill. I think this was an overreach from young Panatom, Cyclone Spin, and Aurora do enough to turn that
It's
around.
just Panatom that was able to go forward. Unfortunately, Netrui didn't rotate over either. So Cyclone Spin gets himself an early kill, so does Aurora, and they get the red buff.
When Wrong Yu is in trouble here, has been pulled in, and Radiance finding a couple good fights. Now Adapting is ready to dive, chasing in on the Shinto, but the dunk is there for Panatom. You ever seen one better timed than that? And he gets the peel that Shinto needed. Panatom now 2-1 and 1.
Yeah.
Right? And 26 minutes. Yeah, here in this game, we've got that already at 8, so... If Radiance want to be aggressive, this is a better look. And Aurora interrupting Wrong Yu. A two-man knock-up into the wall means Tings is stuck on the wrong side, but Panatom doesn't have the damage. Good answer from Adapting, and Tings makes it out of there alive. And Radiant have evened up the kill count, and now Wrong Yu going to try and get them out of there. Should.
Right time. If Shinto has mana, I almost want to see Wrong Yu go under the tower with that ultimate, right? So they could get aggressive and maybe find some damage. Otherwise, just continue finding yourself in this position. Radiance starting to lead in terms of experience, although Adapting took a little bit too much here.
He did, and Aurora steps up and can't find the knockup, so must leave. Shinto is the one that got that much-needed kill onto Adapting to slow his roll just a little bit. A Cyclone Spin continuing to win the duel up against Netroid in lane. That's a lot tougher when not in the Heimdall, ain't it? And Netroid seems to be in a really bad spot here at this point. Cyclone Spin still hunting. Netroid does not have the ultimate, so his options are few and far between, and Cyclone Spin cleans that one up pretty easily. Much better for the set.
Someone needs to go into the Sanguine house and make sure they know how to celebrate properly. That is not enough from them of a reaction from everybody on that side. But they also get that Pyromancer. Panatom's a little low, but if you can disengage from this, you're far and away ahead of this fight.
How does Aurora get a stun on Shinto to start the fight and no one follows up? Adapting has the chase, and we will get the kill on the Panatom, but how does he make it out of this one with his life? He's even using the relics in this spot. You have no live potential Adapting, and still, the beads and Aegis are both used. He'll have them back later, I suppose, so no harm, no foul, but yeah, Sanguine end up getting the kill on the back
hill
of it.
if they can find one. Otherwise, they're going to be fighting an uphill battle, and that's already difficult in this kind of composition.
Tings has been locked down the wall, keeping him isolated. Where's the damage, Sanguine? Yarkor took him up in the air, and Shinto with the crushing wave completes the job. Now Panatom dunks onto Aurora, but Sanguine don't have the follow-up. They give up on it for now, leave the mid pressure to Shinto, who has got to retreat, and now they have a chance to collapse on Cyclone Spin, who's gotten too aggressive. They know where he's at. They've spotted him out in the jungle. Yarkor is cutting off the escape path for him, and hard to imagine a world where Cyclone Spin makes out of this one. He ends up running directly into Shinto. Panatom cuts him off with a wall. So now Cyclone Spin has to try and find a trade, try and find a kill, but there's nothing there. Shinto gets another kill, and just like that, Sanguine are able to find a 2 for 0.
I can't think of much. Kill Shinto and lose the rest of the fight because everyone else on Sanguine is still full health after they dive just the one Heba. So maybe all that pressure can't amount to too much for them.
We saw Cyclone Spin's damage there as Yarkor felt the hurt, but Yarkor now returning to favor. The knockup is there, the stun there afterwards, but the two tanks don't have the damage to kill Cyclone Spin alone. Aurora's on the way to give them some backup as Panatom's dunk is off the mark. The hammer lets him close the gap, and Cyclone Spin nearly wins the trade. It ends up being 1 for 1 as Aurora punishes Panatom on the back end, and now a fourth member of Radiance is joining the fray. Yarkor said, I thought this was solo, but 18 minutes in, it's a party, and he's trying to turn things around, putting damage into Aurora, getting aggressive as Shinto makes his way into the fight. But Sanguine not going to find anything else here. They end up trading jungle for ADC.
Yarkor, I like this call. I mean, Shinto's your true carry, but they're going to be going in on it.
Crushing wave comes out from Shinto, gets him away from Adapting, but Tings blows up Wrong Yu. Shinto blows up Adapting, so it's another trade, and into the backline goes Tings on the Tsukuyomi now as he gets the double and the shutdown onto Shinto. Yarkor avoids getting pulled, finds the two-man stun, and is still looking to find a way to trade favorably, but he's been pulled in. He ends up falling as Netroid elsewhere on the map burns down the Fury.
Feel that he needs if Wrong Yu can just stay alive a little bit longer in these engagements.
Wow, look at this. Radiance have found a window to get aggressive. Adapting, trying to dive as well as Benji has grabbed two members. Shinto has to reposition with the ultimate, but this dive working better than game one, and Shinto goes down early. Panatom will shortly follow, and suddenly Sanguine only have 3 lives to their names. Yes, they got Adapting in the middle of all this, but how can they hold on up against this might from Radiance all of a sudden as Yarkor starts to melt? Cyclone Spin dives under the Phoenix, and Benji cleans up on the back of it. Now Wrong Yu falls as well, and Yarkor, the only one standing and Radiance have found themselves a late game deicide and completely shut down Sanguine. They still got 4 members strong and they can go wherever they want, but they're just gonna burn down this middle Phoenix and Gore, maybe, and just look to put an end to this game, even without an ADC.
I mean, they've got the damage to be able to burn it, but the longer this Phoenix takes, the less likely I feel comfortable going in there. 14 seconds left and a minion wave. I think they can do it.
Yeah, they've got this one. 9 seconds before Shinto's back up, and the Titan is falling quickly. It's down to half HP, and Sanguine's respawns still too far away. But in comes Shinto,
the
so
Titan.
deaths are coming. The Titan is starting to fall lower. It's up to Aurora to complete it from here, but somehow Sanguine are still holding on. It's a triple kill from Shinto, spawning just in time, and Radiance don't have the damage to complete the task. But still, Gore, they got the middle Phoenix, the mid tier 2. It was a good fight. Back in time to stop him is the question. They know for sure that Cyclone Spin is here now, but they've got to hurry. Yarkor backed. He'll be able to interrupt them. The knockup is here to stop it, and Cyclone Spin does get stuffed. Panatom comes in with the ultimate as well to try and push Cyclone Spin away. So Sanguine do enough to keep Radiance at bay for now, but now they're right outside the gates. They could just storm in if they want to, and I think that's what Radiance are thinking about. Benji goes in first. Tings turns to the Thor. He dunks onto the Titan and starts to crush it, but he ends up getting stuffed, and the Titan gets a bit of a reset. Aurora's made his way in now too, but Shinto gets the kill onto him. They don't have the damage. Shinto gets a double. Sanguine completely stuff Radiance right at the gates and keep him out of the Titan room.
There's no way. I refuse to believe it. This has to be scripted by Hindu Man, because there is no way you can tell me a team finds a narrow Titan defense twice within 5 minutes of each other. That just doesn't happen. This does not exist in Smite in any form. I think just in general, I've been watching this game for a long time, and you do not get to see a lot of plays like that. That is well played by Sanguine. Should be a Phoenix, honestly. That is just good control from them with a Fire Giant on their belts as well. Jeez, I mean, Finch, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. I don't even know what to talk about. My brain's all over the place trying to lock this one down. Let's focus on it. Phoenix definitely going to go away.
Well, yeah, the Phoenix will definitely fall. Cyclone Spin is still in the jungle, but they send Panatom different here for Radiance. If that nets them a different result, it's really hard to say. I'm not so sure that it does, but we know for sure Thor ulting didn't work, huh? As Yarkor moves in here early. Panatom looking for a dunk as well, as adapting now underneath the tier 1 tower, but he took away more damage than bargained for. Gore, and Panatom ends up getting the first kill of the fight.
I mean, this is just well played. Now Aurora looking to get locked down. They do return Netroid, so far keeping it 1-for-1, Finch, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Big Man Tings comes in using the Tsukiyomi ultimate that does get rid of Shinto, but Panatom is able to find 2. The wall sets up for a 2-man knockup, but it's still not enough, and Cyclone Spin is turning this fight around for Radiance. They may have stumbled earlier on, but could this be the fight that opens the door back up for them? It's just the front line that I lauded earlier on today, trying to keep this game going for Sanguine, as now they have Wrong Yu locked down at the back of the fight, but he dashes the minions, stays alive. In comes Cyclone Spin, completing the kill, and Yarkor has to keep everybody out. He has no backup for another 20 seconds until Netroid gets here, but Radiance are over at the right tier 2, burning that down. It's not a base siege, and Sanguine can breathe easy yet again.
They're looking towards the objectives that caused them the most trouble, Finch. We don't often get to keeping things maybe at pace even overall with Radiance, but they still have a lot of control and a lot to say about the rest of this game.
Well, the Fire Giant's low. Panatom can't get the dunk on someone, then they're CC immune, but Sanguine secure the Fire Giant. Adapting falls again. That's twice in a row that his backline dive has gotten stuffed. Tings turns into the Cerberus in the middle of this fight, and now he's just kind of wandering around. He does find the ultimate, and that does collect 1 member. Cyclone Smash, he gets a double kill to help Radiance turn this fight around. The Fire Giant goes to Sanguine, but they lose it off Panatom and Shinto instantly, and now Yarkor is in the middle of 3. Gets some backup coming in from Wrong Yu, and Tings ends up going down. Cyclone Spin looking to trade this one back out as well, and again, it's the front line for Sanguine getting it done, but you're right, Netroid has made his way into the fight now as the knockup comes through from Wrong Yu in the back of the fight, but where's Netroid? He's still not putting any damage here into this fight as he's afraid to engage.
Yeah, he's just a little too low. He can't go into a 1v1, although he's going to try it now. I don't know if this is the call. You have to have someone nearby. They unfortunately don't get Cyclone Spin, who right now is maybe my MVP for Radiance, right? He's the one keeping them alive.
He's keeping them in it.
I think they might get something else here, though. Netroid's still low. This is precarious.
It is. Netroid now trying to find his last bit of damage at the end of the fight does end up cleaning up that kill onto Aurora. on the tail end of this one. How different are these two games, though, Gore? The first game, 7 kills through 26 minutes.
And both teams have weakened mid-Phoenixes. Both teams have both towers and dual lanes for whatever reason that is. So they're keeping it equal as far as they can. Netroid, though, in a little bit of trouble. Again, if you can kill Cyclone Spin, I think you honestly might just win the game here. And that could be the biggest pick for Sanguine.
Netroid is able to escape the damage. Panatom dunks at the back, and now he's stuck around 4 members. Certainly dead in that spot. That wasn't it. Chief and Big Man Tings gets the kill. So now Sanguine are going to defend a little bit here. They've still got fire beads for Shinto for another 50 seconds as well. But no relics for adapting either if he wants to get involved. Aurora pulls in Yarkor at the start of the fight, who uses the beads, and now he's sitting on top of Tings. Panatom comes in as well, and Aurora might have pulled Death towards his backliner instead of helping. And that is Tings falling early, but in the backline, Sanguine's in trouble too. Rongyu shows up though, and Shinto gets the help he needs. Netroid gets his ultimate off in time as well, but Cyclone Spin does complete the kill onto Shinto near the right side of the fight, but adapting too low in the back of the fight and falls. Panatom will join him shortly. Both mid-jungles have been removed, leaving just the ADC in the front lines left to battle on both sides. Netroid has rejoined the fight. He's full HP, and Cyclone Spin is the opposite. He's low and forced to retreat. Another largely even neutral fight here going. Both teams maybe just chilling.
Man, I want to say because of Netroid's positioning and specifically his life bar.
No
with
way!
Yarkor getting aggressive, he's going to continue chasing this. They might still be able to find Cyclone Spin, although no mana. It's a long call for Yarkor to try and make that one. I almost think they could pressure out.
Perhaps thinking that they had to get there quickly to defend, but no such need for alarm. Now Benji blinks in, looking for Netroid, who is able to dash out of there. Stygian Torment collects Netroid, but he has the beads to get himself out of there. But Cyclone Spin punishes him on the back of it. Netroid has fallen already, and Radiance are heavily favored at this point, with Sanguine's health bars looking so low. Sanguine are on the retreat, but Cyclone Spin leaps in. The stun comes through to stop the rampage. The wall there too, but adapting over the wall gets rid of Panatom, and now with the 5v3 advantage, Radiance are right outside the base of Sanguine. No way that Sanguine can do it for the third time. 40.5 minutes into this game. Now taking damage from the few minions that have made their way in. But Panatom dunks in the Cyclone Spin. I think he's right to rethink that one. I don't know if he loves that fight, but Yarkor has grabbed Cyclone Spin, and Shinto gets the kill, and that's huge. Cyclone Spin's been everything for Radiance, and Sanguine got rid of him early this time. It took a lot of ults, but they have removed the set from the equation. Two-man wall comes through. Rongyu locks down one more member. Benji does pick up one with the Stygian Torment, but now Benji is low. Yarkor gets another. In comes the ultimate from adapting into the backline, and Big Man Tings is able to get rid of Panatom early, and Yarkor and Rongyu are both low, but Tings can't get any more damage off. Sanguine collect one more kill, and now it's just adapting and Aurora still standing, and adapting is on the retreat. Aurora the only one still back, and now the CC is there. The boulder can't connect, and Netroid gets the first kill of the fight for Sanguine, and now they got the 4-for-1.
Oh, but look at the fire minions, look at the damage. Even with minute-long timers, you can't go down to deal with the Titan. You're still locked away right here, having to now deal with fire minions on right.
This is going to be difficult for them, but Sanguine are trying to burn down this mid-Phoenix quickly while they have the opportunity. Adapting, looking for the ultimate to get to the backline. He wants to get rid of Netroid, and he gets brought along for the ride. Adapting ends up getting the kill on the Netroid, but he dies as well. But he defends that middle Phoenix. Sanguine didn't have enough damage to get rid of it, and now Panatom gets back in time to stop a big minion wave from getting to their Titan.
That's to stop Wave 1 and Wave 2, and honestly, you might as well stick around for Wave 3, because it's not far off from the base. It is just dangerous. I think if you potentially try to backdoor this and force an awkward fight out of Sanguine where they just don't know where it's going.
Tings is making the play onto Panatom in the right lane. Very nearly has gotten the solo. Panatom turns it around. Tings got to sit down because Panatom is showing up, and now Yarkor has collected a roar in the back of the fight. Thorns gets him out of there. They don't have the damage, but Rongyu says no. Stun. Dash in for the stun. The knock up there as well, and Shinto collects the second, and adapting still on the kill cooldown, still waiting to respawn, as now Benji's stuck in the middle of everybody with nowhere for him to go. He has the leap, but Sanguine are keeping up the chase. They got the doggo locked down, and potentially a chance for another kill. Shinto on the killing spree, and Panatom gonna lead the rest of the chase.
They have 4 here, just trailing behind him is Netroid. This should at least be that mid-Phoenix, but now you get to see what exactly not only can adapting do, but Cyclone Spin, the 2 left standing.
Oh no. Nothing Adapted can do there. He gets blown up right away, and Sanguine with the 5v1 advantage at the race
Minions?
because there's fire minions on their own Titan. They gotta hurry, so they barrel into the Titan room, and their Titan barely clings to life, but they're doing so much damage. They get the deicide at the tail end of it, and they win the race. Sanguine, 47 minutes on the clock, are able to find the win.
Finch,